So I just got done watching Lilo and Stitch, and it was really, really good. I almost cried a lot, but I was keeping myself from crying more because my allergies have been acting up, and I didn't want snot to be running down my face, and I didn't have tissue, so yeah, that would have just been nasty. But yeah, it was really, really good. So surprising. Some problematic political messages in it, but overall, I really liked it. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna go home and sit down and record the rest of my review. I'm very excited to make this video. And yes, for once, my room is pretty clean while I'm actually recording a video. Don't worry about the bag, okay? That's just stuff that I have to give away. That's my bag and my jacket, and then my bed is not done, but I don't care about it. So yeah, I have been wanting to get back into my movie reviewing bag since I kind of like retired my old movie reviewing video essay channel, RIP. Also, I was not a Lilo and Stitch person, a Lilo and Stitch child, until my friend like invited me to come see this movie with her, the live action one, and I didn't know anything about Lilo and Stitch, so I wanted to be prepared to like be able to see the references and things. So I watched the original movie and I loved it. And now I'm actually watching the hi Tigress, my cat's here. Now I'm currently watching the sequel, and I plan to probably watch the other movies and the series because I just want to learn more about the world and stuff. So now I'm a big Lilo and Stitch fan, and I'm very happy that my friend invited me to watch the movie with them. Really, Tigress. When it comes to live action movies and remakes and things like that, I try to judge it as a standalone film and as a remake of something else. So the first half of this video is going to be talking more about how it is as a standalone film, and then afterwards I'm going to be talking more about like what I liked that it kept and didn't keep from the original movie. And then overall I'm going to be like rating it and things like that, and we're going to tie it into like whether or not I think this is a good movie that teaches children valuable things, because again, this is a channel that is focused on early childhood education, so, or at least I want it to be. That's what I'm trying to make it into, because I am a ECE major. So I was pleasantly surprised. I know that every time a Disney live action film or just a Disney movie comes out, let's be real, any Disney movie, right? Even if it's Marvel, like just because it's associated with Disney, as soon as it comes out, there's people saying that it's bad, right? And usually when people say it's bad, it means it's mediocre. Not necessarily awful, but just mediocre. So I expected it to not be great, but also not be terrible. But when I went to the theater, I was very surprised that it was, to me, pretty excellent. There are some problems that I have with some of the themes in the movie, but I found it very moving. So on the plot, I don't have much negative to say about the plot. I don't think I have anything negative to say about the plot. I literally just finished watching it. Um, so maybe when I watch it again another time, I'll like be able to nitpick little things, but I think the plot was very sound. No plot holes that I can remember, and I really like the ending where, you know, it's still um, a thing that Nani is no longer going to be the guardian of Lilo, but instead of Lilo going to a random foster family, Lilo is going to her next door neighbors, and Nani is going to be able to pursue her dream of being a marine biologist. I really like that ending because it's more realistic. I think it's okay to admit that a lot of people in these situations do lose guardianship, um, and there's still a way to do realistic endings in a way that's still a happy ending. So I really like that they did that. So I like that they added in the element of Nani going to her dream college and kind of having a life outside Lilo, because without that added element, it's like now Nani's kind of just like this flat character that just exists to protect Lilo, and Lilo is the main like focus, which is okay, but I do like when stories acknowledge that the supporting characters are also complex human beings with dreams and goals, and also in reality, a lot of the caretakers of these children, their dreams are pushed aside and they're not acknowledged. And so it's nice to see such a big movie kind of send the message to caretakers that their dreams are just as important and they should also continue to pursue what they want even though they have somebody to take care of. Because a lot of times it's like, and unfortunately, like, it's a nice thought, but in reality, most of the time, people don't have the luxury of time and money to go to their favorite college, um, or whatever they want to do, because they have to put all that time, effort, and money into this child who did not ask to be born and should get a chance at life. Um, and some people are not as blessed as Nani to have next door neighbors willing to take in, her child, which is her little sister, but Lilo's basically her child. So I thought that was very sweet. Um, yeah, not only does it send the message to parents and guardians who are alone in parenting that their hopes and dreams matter, that their humanity matters, but it also sends that message to children of single parents that, like, hey, this person is not just my mom, or this person is not just my big sister, or this person is not just my dad. Like, they're a whole person, just like me. And so I think that's a very good message to send to children, because a lot of times children grow up with this like idea of their guardian being perfect and having no fear and not being able to feel sadness and just being able to keep going and going and going.
Idealization of parents, has an understandable benefit as a child because it makes you feel safe in the world. It makes you feel like there's an entity called parent that is perfect and does what it needs to do to keep you feeling good and protected from harm and reliable. So it's really understandable why kids idealize parents.
But it's like, no, it's important that children see the humanity in their caretakers as well. Now I'm going to move on to some things in the dialogue. So first I'll start with the comedy. At the beginning of the movie, the jokes didn't really land for me, but towards the middle and end, like I started to really enjoy like the slapstick comedy and even some of the like wittier lines. Moving on to something else that's not really a joke. It was Agent Cobra Bubbles when he was about to like leave and go, report the alien people to the CIA, right? Or his superiors or whatever. He was like, my job is to protect the American people. Okay, now there's two things, right, to that. He said, my job is to protect the American people. And then, I forgot what her name was. Let me look up her name before I start talking mess. Okay, then I have my computer in front of me right now. The older woman, Tutu, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Tutu says, well, what do you think we are? In response to him saying, my job is to protect the American people. And this seems a little because this made me give a little bit of a side eye because I don't know much about Hawaiian culture, okay? And I'm gonna be actively like doing my research as I'm talking to you, but I don't think that Hawaiian people identify as American or want to, and I don't blame them. Um, so hold on, I'm gonna look this up and then I'm gonna get back to you. I have spent the past 15 minutes trying to research this question. Do Native Hawaiians identify as Americans? And from what I've found, the answer is it's complicated. The conclusion I've come to is that there is no one answer, and I don't think it's my place. I did have a little issue at first because I am, like, number one, the Copaganda plus Tutu afterwards say, well, aren't we Americans? That, like, I'm already not trusting of Copaganda. So when I I heard that in the dialogue, I was already like, do Native Hawaiians feel that way? Is that representative Native Hawaiians? Um, so now what I'm getting is that it's more of a complicated thing. It's more of something that I feel like within the group there might be some disagreements on. Um, an article I read from 2015 by BBC News basically talked about like Hawaiian sovereignty and how many Native Hawaiians support that versus don't. And what a lot of information I got from that article stated that most Hawaiians do believe that Hawaii is part of the US or should be part of the US, and it's a small loud group that wants sovereignty in like in today's age. Um, so I mean that may kind of connect to whether or not Hawaiians identify as American or not. Like maybe that larger group is more comfortable identifying as Hawaiian Americans, and the smaller group that wants complete Hawaiian sovereignty, which honestly I'm in support of, but hey, you know, that's not my business. Native Hawaiians, you could do whatever you want, but hey, like if you do want to go down that route of getting sovereignty, like I think that's cool. I think the United States has like really messed y'all up and messed your situation up, so I don't blame you for wanting sovereignty, but only if that's what you want. Only if that's what you want. But yeah, so maybe if we're taking the example of how many Hawaiians believe that Hawaii is part of or should be part of the US versus how many Hawaiians believe that Hawaii should have sovereignty, which is a much smaller group, maybe that translates to like who identifies as American and who doesn't. But then I saw this video of actual Hawaiians talking, although it's one video because I really couldn't find much on this topic. One lady even said that she identifies as American, and it's like kind of a reluctant thing.
Would you consider yourself American?
No.
I am American, but yet my Hawaiianness is more important than that.
I consider myself American, but not necessarily by choice. It is what it is.
I consider myself as Kanaka. I come from Hilo, and I'm a proud Hawaiian immersion graduate.
I would consider myself like so many things before American, that's the thing.
Which I get as an African American, like America does so much to ethnic minorities, it's a little hard to identify as American. I think there is a strong like cultural identity. This is making me want to know more Native Hawaiians because I want to actually be able to talk to them about this, and I don't want to be that one person who's like, I saw this on Google, so I'm right about it, you know. But like I think my problem with that line of dialogue is that it simplifies something that is much more complicated, and that I don't think all Native Hawaiians agree with. Let me see who this was written by. Child, I'm getting down to the nitty gritty, okay, because this is so interesting. This makes the movie even more interesting. I'm looking at a web page by Kauai Ola newspaper, which is a Hawaiian newspaper, and I looked up who wrote the live action. I'm getting a quote from this article that says, Bright said that it was important in the making of the movie to do things right and be authentic to our culture, noting that everyone involved in the project, from producers to the director, were committed to including people from Hawaii in the production, not only as part of the cast and crew, but as cultural consultants. I'm gonna trust, because as a Black person, like, it's not my place to say, like, oh, you're not representing Native Hawaiians like you should. Listen, if a Native Hawaiian who was a writer on the film, said that they welcomed, like, consultants and actual Native Hawaiians to, like, speak on behalf of Hawaiian culture and things like that, I'm gonna trust that not too many Hawaiian people have a problem with that dialogue. So I'm gonna let it go. I kind of went down a rabbit hole, but I'm gonna let it go. Yeah, and we gonna leave it at that. We're gonna put it to bed. I hope I'm not losing my natural lighting, okay? Because I don't have, like, any lights to light up my videos. I'm gonna circle back to the whole CIA, my job is to protect the American people. Okay. That is just, it's that line cringe. It's cringy because it's just giving Copaganda. It's giving, like, you want children to glorify the police and things like that. And sure, in a perfect world where most people trust the police, which I don't think they do, that would be fine. That would be fine. But I'm just so tired of, like, the police infiltrating our media and trying to, like, produce these movies and these characters that portray them in this super cool, awesome superhero light, when that's not always the truth. Like, I was totally fine with Agent Cobra Bubbles, and I'm still fine with him. It's just that line was so, it's such on the nose propaganda. You know what I mean? And I don't like that. I don't like that. It wasn't cute. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. I don't like the fixation that American media has on, like, making cops seem cool. I don't, when the things that they do is not cool. That's a theme that I didn't really like, that I don't think needed to be included at all. But we can move on to the other things that I did like, which is just, the basic theme of the older movie. Ahana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. I think that's a great message to send to children. Although it is a bit surface level, because sometimes family does hurt you. So I don't yet know where that line is. Like, how do we teach children that, yes, family is important, but sometimes people in your family are not good for you, and sometimes they should get left behind. But do I think that gray area is a reason to not show the movie to children? No, I don't think so. It's still a great movie, still has great themes. And like Stitch says, his family is small but broken but still good. That's also a great theme. Family may not be perfect, but it does not mean it's not good. That's a great theme to send to children. Pretty simple. Love it. Made me cry. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, the theme about, seeing your caretaker's humanity, that's very important as a child to understand that, like, whoever's taking care of you, is important to see their humanity and realize that they're not perfect and they're going to make mistakes and that they cry and they get scared and they have goals that they want to reach as well. So yeah, I love that, and I think that's great that this new film touched on that. I forgot to add one more thing, one more theme I had an issue with. Is this really a theme? Maybe, but I feel like the theme also was like, oh, social workers are your friends, which they can be. They can be. But CPS makes a lot of mistakes sometimes, and I feel they do more harm than help. And a lot of CPS workers don't understand the needs of the communities that they're working in, or that they're taking children from. And I just don't like how the social worker was portrayed kind of as like a friend or a supporter of Nani. It didn't seem like that at all. The social worker always made Nani's life harder and more stressful. And I feel like the emphasis should have been on that instead of like, oh, the social worker's doing what's best for their family. And no, like, and I know the reality is that people who work with social workers and things like that, they don't actually get help from the social worker, but they, just get told what they're doing wrong, basically. To me, the social worker would not have been a villain in my eyes if she had given Nani more support and been like, hey, this place has a job where you can get more flexible hours, or like, here's a affordable after school program for Lilo, and da 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 da, this is how you can get help paying your bills. But no, she said to this girl, she gave this girl 3 goals. I forgot what the last goal was, but it was Tuesday, and she gave Nani till Friday to get both her and Lilo on health insurance and pay all her overdue bills. Do you want Lilo to stay with Nani or not? It was like the social worker really wanted Lilo to leave and get out of Nani's hands. Like, that to me was crazy, and I don't like how the movie portrayed her as being a helping hand to Nani and Lilo when she wasn't. Breaking up families should always be the last resort. It should always be priority to keep families together, because that is what the kid needs, their family. They don't need to be over in a foster home. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes situations call for that, but as people who are helping children and families, it should be our top priority to make sure that those families stay together and they get the support that they need to stay together, instead of just saying, yeah, get some health insurance in 3 or 4 days and your kid stays with you. Like, that's, tell her how, because it's really hard to go through all of the bureaucracy of like getting health insurance and things like that. Like, does she even have the money for health insurance? She probably needs to get on Medicaid. Like, really, girl? Really, Miss Social Worker? Do you really think you're doing a service to her? You knew that girl couldn't get all those things done by Friday. You knew it. You knew it. Okay, Miss Thing. I really have beef with this social worker. I really have beef with her. Like, I do not like her. Don't smile in my face and then turn around and do nothing to help me. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. That ain't cute. That ain't cute.
Música.